What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Life After Lockup. Season, I don't know what season, child. Was it Love After Lockup? Was it Love After Lockup? Season 3, episode 3. Okay. So we meet a couple of new people. This episode we meet Shonda and Tyrese. Now, he said he's a hot commodity. He said he is an engineer, so he made good money. Now, that flash that they showed us of his apartment where he living, I guess he's saving his money because he ain't spending it on no house. He is 50. She is 28. They have known each other 2.5 months. She's in jail for, I don't forget what the hell she in jail for, probably drugs. And he has 3 kids. And we see him going shopping for her. And he's with his best friend. And his best friend is trying to tell him he is being stupid. He is being foolish. He is doing the most. He is, And of course, he did what all people do when you're trying to get him some good advice. He reduced it to, she just jealous. She never liked any woman I date. Because it seemed like you're a little bit, vulnerable. Like you... I don't know. Tangy is her name. His best friend's name is Tangy. And Tangy is trying to tell him he is being a fool, that they are making a fool out of him, and this woman is going to make a fool. But he said he likes, long walks on the beach, cuddling, and big butts. So she getting out of jail in a few days, and he ended up spending at that store we saw him go to. He spent $400, and of course he wasn't fazed by it. He pulled out his credit card and was like, run it. I said, okay, well. And that's the last we saw him. We ain't seen no more of him the rest of this episode. I don't think. Did we see any more of him? I don't think we did. We'll probably get him next week. Then we got Christiana and John. Now, she did accept his wedding proposal, but I think she thought he meant like in the future. I don't think she thought that he was going to take her around the corner, through the bend, over the woods, to his makeshift chapel on the back of his pickup truck and have a traditional Native American, like a blessing ceremony. I don't even know what they was doing. But she said yes, and I'm sure she said yes because, she was sort of on the spot, but she said that she, that he's the best thing that ever happened to her, and, she loves him, and, blah, 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 But when they got around the corner to that chapel, first of all, she had to be at the halfway house. So he talking about something, he got it timed out. And of course, if she's late getting to the halfway house, she could potentially go right back. If you miss your check-in time, like, they don't have no whole lot of leeway with that. You miss your check-in time, you violated, you out, bye. And he is going to take her to go get married and do this wedding in like 15 minutes. And she talks about when they're on their way, the vision she's had of her wedding and what kind of wedding she wants and how she wants her mother to walk her down the aisle. So I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, like, well, clearly y'all have not discussed wedding plans because he about to take you around the corner. And they get around the corner, and of course she's overwhelmed. And she's like, well, what the hell is like all of this? He even has a wedding dress for her, which, by the way, don't fit. But he even bought a wedding dress for her. And I was just sitting there like, you are really doing the most, sir. You are really doing the most. Like, what, you gonna marry her and then take her to the halfway house? Like, what's the why y'all can't just... Anyway. Maurice and Jessica, listen. All Maurice wanted to do was have sex. He didn't care about them cameras. He didn't care about no show. He didn't care about nothing. He just wanted to have sex. And after they had sex, he calling his aunt, and he already scheming on shit. So he gonna tell his aunt, well, maybe I won't even check in with parole. I just won't even go. His aunt on the phone talking about some, no, don't do that, don't do that. So I'm sitting here now thinking, dude, you sound like you already on that bullshit. Like, you just gonna not show up. Child. Anyway, so, but he ends up flying. I think that I'm really not sure about the logistics of it. He ends up flying. Well, they were flying to LA, or because he had to change his parole situation to Vegas so they can go back. Cause she lives in Vegas, and I guess he has to check in LA. This young man ain't never been on a plane before, and it's, on one hand, it's really a sad situation if you think about this grown ass man who was like, yeah, I ain't never even been on a plane before, even, but on the flip side, I don't know. That whole situation is just real interesting as far as I'm concerned, child. We'll see what ends up happening with Maurice. We'll see how that work out, child. Scott and Lindsay, child. Scott then went to the steakhouse. He done ordered her a steak. He don't even know how she liked her steak. He just know that she said she wanted a steak when she got out of jail. So he done went got her a steak. Then he went to go rent the Hummer because he gonna pick her up from the airport in the Hummer. Mind you, he taking her to the halfway house, just like what's up with these people getting limos and taking people to the halfway house? Child, he get the Hummer. They go to run his credit card. Why his shit get declined? He's talking about oh man, there's been so much going on. I've had to move money and do this and do that, and things have been so crazy and so hectic. Oh man, I just gave you the wrong card. He pull out another card and they go through, but baby, I said, okay. Excuse me. We see him actually get to the airport, and that's kind of where we left off with him wait for her to get off the plane. He hadn't, but the thing was that he hadn't heard anything, so he didn't know if she was still coming in on that plane. He didn't know if it was going to be a different plane. Like, he hadn't heard anything. He just went out to the airport on a wing and a prayer, hoping that it was going to be the right plane. But yeah. And shouts out to Jay Lee's Corner, because I miss what she said. I missed when he said last week, talking about he thinks that she was just being picked on because she was a pretty white woman. Really? Really, Scott? She's being picked on because she's a pretty white woman? Ciao, bye. So... okay. Quaylen and I forgot the child's name. I forgot the child's name now. Quaylen and his girlfriend. So the mother goes to talk to her, and she apologizes. She said, listen, I apologize for sort of snapping at you the way I did, but that whole situation just took me aback. Like, that whole conversation just sort of threw me off, and I apologize to you, but it just clearly seems like we're getting different stories. My whole purpose is to get him away from this, because my fear is that he's going to get out of jail. He's going to fall back into old habits with the same people, because he's going to be here in the same situation. And, she was like, I understand. Chevelle, that's it. And she was like, I understand, and Quaylen wasn't honest with me. He wasn't honest. He told me that he had talked to you. And so it kind of put me in an awkward situation, but at the end of the day, I hope he doesn't think that I'm going to move to Houston. Like, I hope that's not what he thinks is about to happen, because I'm not. Like, I'm not getting ready to move to Houston. Me and my family are here. Me and my daughter are here. And so, she was crying and she was upset because she was like, I'm just not sure what he's thinking, and I can't talk to him. And, he gave his mother a totally different situation than what he gave me, and I'm just kind of feeling some kind of way about the whole situation. Then we get a little more information. His mom shares with us that it was her birthday and she hadn't heard from him, and she knew that something must be wrong because, he doesn't do that. He talks to her, especially on her birthday, and she found out he had been shot, and she said, that was, I guess he's because he's in jail for armed robbery. So I guess he got shot during the robbery. And she said that was the last time, that she was able to touch her son because, he went on trial, he went to jail or what have you. And so we get a little more information, a little background. But remember, Quaylen was still like high school age when he went to jail. And, his mother is like, listen, he needs to focus on getting back to society. He needs to focus on a job and acclimating himself, and the last thing he needs to do is be entangled in a relationship coming straight out of jail. Like, it's nothing personal against Chevelle. It's just I just think it's too much for my son right now. And you can't be mad at mama about that. And I agree anyway, child. I agree. Then we got Destiny and Sean. Child, Destiny is about to take all Sean money. Now, he didn't have to put up the whole 50,000. It's just the 5,000, the 10%. But even with that, if she runs, he's gonna be on the hook for the whole 50,000. Honey, he done made her homemade tacos in the hotel room on a hot plate. Listen, I wasn't even mad about that. I said he was inventive as hell. He done made her the double ones with the hard and the soft shell and the refried beans in the middle. I said, I ain't mad at you. But he said, I am starting to get a little worried about being catfish, just a little bit because, since I haven't seen her, my biggest fear is that I'm not going to be physically attracted to her because, I ain't seen her. And so he gets there, he gets to the jail and she comes out and she just picked up a little weight. She said she didn't want him to see her because she had picked up some weight. She had picked up a little weight, but I thought she still looked cute, she gonna run though. Yeah. She gonna run. Sean, just go ahead and get ready to do some overtime, a part-time job. She gonna run. I hope the house ain't in your name because she gonna run. I just don't see that. She gonna run. And he said that, she don't look exactly like her picture, but he could tell it's her. I said, really? And I'm thinking to myself, dude, with your 6 kids, dude. Child, these people are a mess. I think that's it. I think that's all the people we saw this week, child. We still getting the preliminaries. We ain't gotten into no deep stories yet because ain't nobody got out of jail yet. We only saw Maurice and Jessica, but hell, they still at the hotel having sex. And producers, we do not need to hear Jessica moaning and slapping. Like we don't need to hear the sound. Excuse me, we got the idea when they went in the bedroom and closed the door. Like we didn't need y'all to confirm that they had sex. I didn't need that in my life at all. Scott said he's not worried about it being a scam. He doesn't believe it, I said, these people, maybe I'm just too cynical, y'all, but these people just, maybe I'm just too cynical. Anyway, we'll be back next week. Let's see what it is and what it was, honey. Peace.